Hey guys, how's it going? It's Shadados here. I'm going to show you how to build a entire BuildCraft refinery slash distillery. I think it used to be called a refinery, so that's why I kind of call it a refinery, but it's more the distillery process in order to turn oil into uh, gaseous fuel, light fuel, and dense fuel, which are the three main fuels, and also residue, but we'll throw that away. It's really complex. BuildCraft makes this, it used to be kind of complex, and now it's insanely complex. You have to heat and cool down a lot of liquids, and that's going to be the most complex part of it. It's all pipes, 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 pipes. All right, so as I promised, what you'll need for this entire process from start to finish is 3 stacks of coal, 3 Stirling engines, 10 Redstone engines, 13 levers, 13 pipe plugs, 3 pumps, 11 heat exchangers, a diamond fluid pipe, 54 golden fluid pipes, 5 tanks, 7 wooden fluid pipes, and a distiller. You also should have a wrench, a bucket, or maybe a couple. You'll probably need more than just one. I'd probably bring at least 3, and a pickaxe of some sort. Now, if you don't want to go through the entire process and make dense fuel, and you just want to make light fuel and gaseous fuel because it is sufficient enough, you'll only need 2 pumps, 2 Stirling engines, and 8 Redstone engines. And you'll need a stack less of coal, you'll need 1 less lever, and maybe, what, 1 more tank less, and less distiller. So it's a little cheaper. Other than that, that's what you'll need. Oh, wow, wow. Wasn't that a really good information to know? Okay, cool. So now that you have those supplies, I'm going to be doing this in creative mode to kind of show you because I don't have those items anymore. So I actually am going to go into creative and show you how to do everything as we go. So you got a bucket. You're going to need to find oil first. So I found a little oil patch here. It was a little bigger than this, but then I was testing stuff and I actually used quite a bit of it. What you're actually kind of looking for is kind of a geyser, which I'll cut in here. Look at that. Isn't that such a beautiful geyser that I recorded before this and then had so many issues? Wow. Beautiful. Anyways, the idea is that at the middle of that geyser, right in the center block, because it is a plus sign, it is kind of the chute, if you will, down underground of where this oil is. Because what's going to happen is that this pump pumps down, it goes straight down to wherever it hits. So if you put it like here, it would hit this dirt and it would suck up all the dirt at this level and above it. So you want it at the lowest point. So you actually want it in the center of that geyser because there's a hole deep, deep underground to bedrock of oil. While if you put it here, you're going to suck up all this oil and all the oil above it, but you'll actually then see the plus sign of what I'm talking about of it going into the ground. So yeah, you'll want to find the geyser. Then after you get the geyser, my geyser was this height, which is why this platform's this height, and it was right underneath this pump. So you're going to, let's do this. You're going to need a pump. You're going to need a lever. You're going to need a redstone engine. You could use a Stirling engine if you want. If, for instance, you're thinking that you're using not, if the oil, when we're done with this, if the refinery is like, you're not getting enough oil into the refinery, like it's somehow the refinery is more efficient than you're pumping oil, then you'll need to upgrade this engine. But I think you just need a redstone engine for this. It'll be quick and simple. Because redstone engines are cheap. They're really easy. So we slap down a pump. The pump will actually show you where it's going to suck up because it has a little pump. Yeah. All right, we put the redstone engine anywhere around the outside, not on the top or bottom, because we don't want it, because it's going to be pumping out the top here. So then we'll slap a lever on the back of the redstone engine, and we'll flick the lever so it's on, and then it'll start pumping. And it'll get into this pump. So the pump actually has an internal tank of, I think, 10 buckets, if I am correct. But it doesn't matter. It's kind of nice to have that little bit of a buffer. So we're going to then add the fluid pipe. So if I slap down some golden fluid pipes, I'm using golden fluid pipes in this scenario just because they are the fastest fluid pipe. You can use other fluid pipes if they seem more costly at the time, because honestly, you don't need really fast fluid pipes for what we're doing here, because a lot of it is very slow. The process is very slow, so you don't need to use gold ones. You could use quartz, stone, cobblestone. I think those are just normal fluid pipes. We'll get into other fluid pipes as we go on, but those are just normal transfer pipes. You know, they don't need any extra thought. So I have the fluid here. Now you might be wondering, why did we do that? That's a good question. That's for later. What we really need to do first is we just need to get a... What you're going to need to do is that you're going to need to heat up this bucket, this cold bucket of oil that you just gathered from the oil stream, and put it into what this is. You might be like, whoa, this looks confusing. So what this is a heat exchanger from BuildCraft. We're basically going to be taking lava, which is obviously very hot, and put the oil in it. The oil will pass through with the lava. The lava will heat up said oil, put the oil into this tank, and shoot out a bunch of awful oil steam or whatever. It's just like a graphical effect. I don't know why they even have one for this, but it's fine. So how this works is that you have a tank. Okay, cool. It just destroyed that. That's chill. That's fine. Don't look at this. This is why I didn't want to do this in creative mode. But, you know, we all try to make do with what we have. So you'll be throwing down a tank. You'll want a wooden fluid pipe here. Wooden fluid pipes are import fluid pipes. So what that means is that you need, well, extraction pipes, sorry. They're import or export, I guess, so extraction. So when you give them power, they will extract from a direction. Now, that direction is based off of what these little opaque or translucent squares are. What this is that it is preventing the fluid from going up because it is opaque. Whatever is opaque, it will not go towards. It goes the opposite of the opaque, because what this means is that nothing can go through the opaque back. It can't go from translucent to opaque, but it can come through this heat exchanger down into this tank. So this is actually in the wrong orientation, and I will have to switch it around, which is good. Okay, so now I believe these are on. We slap down 2 more redstone engines. You go pop, lever. Okay, we got the wooden pipe. It doesn't have to be diamond. I have mine wooden diamond ones. They're just faster. I think that, like I said, you don't need them to be fast. And you can actually reuse this heat exchanger later on. That at the end, at the beginning when I told you what you needed to make this, that is accurate. Here, I just have it pre-built because whatever. So we slap down a wooden redstone engine on this wooden pipe as well with a tank of lava. Now you can either have a tank and fill it with lava here and have it get pumped out with a redstone engine, or you could have a maybe, you know, a lake of lava here, and you'll slap down a pump and you'll slap down a redstone engine and a lever, and that pump will suck up that lava and put it into the heat exchanger. If you're doing that, if you're sucking up the lava, you do not need a wooden fluid pipe. You can use a golden one because a pump automatically is exporting the fluid. So, slap in your cool bucket. Turn these babies on. It's going to suck up the oil, mix it with the lava, and bada boom! Wow, I don't have sound on. I wonder if that sounds cool. Let's find out. I've never actually... Well, what? Is that part of music? I don't... You know what? It doesn't make any sound. How about that? Congrats. It's really... I know, so fascinating, right, sheep? Okay, so come on. How much more? Let's just fill a bunch of it in there. You don't need a lot. You only need one bucket. So you could just put one bucket in there. Oh, I already had a bucket. Sorry. Didn't need to do that. Anyway, so you'll grab a bucket of hot oil. You got a bucket of hot oil now. Congrats. Okay, fantastic. You got your bucket of hot oil. Now what we're going to do is that you're going to take down all the tanks and stuff that you already got with your pickaxe. Mine all that stuff down. You'll maybe get a lot of these little shards and stuff, you know. You can put those into tanks. You can like right click them into tanks. Like if I put down this tank, I could throw all these lava shards in here. But obviously I don't want them, so I'm going to just throw them all on the ground by tapping Q. It's nice because they actually allow you to change between types of fluids while doing that. But anyways, yeah, so okay, we got everything. Cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the distiller. So you're going to grab, I'm going to put here, I need a distiller. We're going to need some more fluid pipes, and yep, okay, all this stuff, we're good. So, slap down your distiller, just like so. The orientation is very important. So you want the orientation like this. I kind of think about it as you want what's facing you to be where all the pipe work and everything is, and this side, the flat side, is engines. That's the best way I can remember it. So you're going to slap down, I'm going to just use normal wooden fluid pipes here. Slap down your wooden fluid pipes on the top or bottom of the distiller. And we're going to then add a redstone engine on both of those wooden fluid pipes. And a Stirling engine on to the back of the distiller. Slap that bad boy on there. Put levers on all of them. Now what this is doing is it is going to suck out the two fuels that we are going to make from this hot oil. This hot oil that we just made is going to make mixed light fuels, 5 millibuckets, and dense oil, 1 millibucket of dense oil. So you actually get, out of 4 millibuckets of oil, you get 6 millibuckets total. So you actually get more fuel / liquid out. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning this light fuel into gaseous fuel and light fuel again. So the mixed light fuels is going to turn into gaseous fuel and light fuel. Mixed light fuel, gaseous fuel, light fuel. It's very, I know, it's all confusing wording because it's back and forth, but it's realistic. That's actually going to make from 5 to 10. So out of a little bit of oil, you get a lot of fuel, gas or just light fuel. The difference is that gaseous fuel is literally like a gas. When you put it into a fluid tank, it floats to the top of the stuff. It just acts a little bit differently. Also, when you place it in the world, it'll actually flow upwards instead of down. It's kind of odd. So then, cool. After I've explained that took me a bit. All right, where was I? I need some coal for the Stirling engine. I am going to just use normal coal because I believe I don't know actually, if using cold blocks heats it up too much, because you don't actually need that much power going into the distillery because it can't work that fast. You know what I mean? So we're going to throw in our hot oil. That is going to make our dense oil and our mixed light fuels, which are going to pump up to nothing. They're just going right into the fluid pipes. So what we're going to have to do here now is that I am going to move them the separate directions. And this is where it's going to get complicated. So I need a heat exchanger. We'll get all of our heat exchangers here. We're going to slap them up on. Now, let's me think about that. You're going to want it one block up like this. So place a block, put the heat exchanger on it, and then slap 3 of them in a row. So you always want 3 of them in a row like this. Oh, I didn't explain that over there, did I? All right, I didn't explain heat exchangers. So how the heat exchanger works is that you place 3 of them down and it kind of creates this weird S pattern, you know what I mean? And what you're going to have to do is that this does matter. You can change it with a wrench from BuildCraft by just right-clicking the middle, and it just flips it around. That's fine. Now, why this matters is that whatever is below here, the one pointing down, you want it connected to whatever you're using as the quote-unquote cool liquid. The cool liquid goes below. So if you're cooling down something or you're heating up something, whatever is the cool liquid to start, so your cool oil or your water to cool something down will be down there below. Whatever you are heating up or using to heat this liquid is going to go here. So it's going to go hot, out, which normally turns into steam or, as we saw, smoke with the oil into lava. And then out top is whatever the end liquid is, either the heated up oil or just a heated up other or cooled down liquid as well. Okay, good job. Wow, it's great that we got that good tutorial on heat exchangers. Now that we know that information, we're going to take this hot liquid and we're going to plug it directly into this heat exchanger. Now you might be like, oh, Josh, what did you do there? You're like, correct. I need a plug. I messed up big time just then. You didn't see this. Cool beans. It didn't actually go in there. So this is plug territory. It's actually probably a good thing not to have these on, and I am very sorry if I just ruined something for you. But if you made I didn't really make a mistake there anyways because it worked out. So what we're going to do, is make this golden fluid pipe go down and go into this heat exchanger. Now this heat exchanger is going to... Is this the correct... No, I think it's this direction. If I believe... Yes. Yes. Okay, so it should go this way. So the heat, heat goes through this direction. So now that we have it going heat in, this is going to be our cool thing. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the cool oil that we have and heat it up with the hot mixed light fuel that we just made from the hot oil. So it will cool down. Well, it's actually searing right now. So it's searing mixed light fuel. No, wait, no. No, it is just hot mixed light fuel. So it's hot mixed light fuel coming through here with the cold oil. We're turning the mixed light fuel into cold mixed light fuel, which we can then distill. So this is great. So this will slap down. I actually will straight up just connect this when I'm done. You can put it into a tank. Here, I'll just do that because it'll look better. You can put it into a tank kind of as a buffer first, just in case you're a little bit scared, because you don't want water getting in here. A good precautionary we can do right here is that we can actually take one of those diamond fluid pipes if you have one. If you don't have one, it's okay, as long as you put the pump in that geyser like I was talking about, it shouldn't ever hit water. But just in case, it doesn't hurt. We'll throw down a, oh, this is a wooden one. My bad. Sorry. There it is. Okay. So we are going to put that down. We're going to put another tank next to it. And we're going to specify that we want, in the red one, we want cold oil. Only in the red one. In this green one, we can then go into, grab a bucket again and go pick up some water. Go run over to some water supply you got here. Grab it. Go, ooh, yup, yum, yum. Water, water. I don't understand in creative mode why you don't get water, but it's fine. You know, okay. And we slap in the water supply. So, well, I didn't need to do that. But anyways, it's what color? Green. Okay, green. Great. Okay, so now, whenever the oil is pumped in, it will always go into this tank. And if you just so happen to get water, it'll go into this one instead. But like I said, as long as you put in the geyser, you shouldn't need to do this. Anyways, as another precautionary, I've seen a lot of people also lead the mixed light fuel out here and have a precautionary another heat exchanger here that goes back and cool it down with water. But just in case, that only happens if you are screwing something up. Okay, I'm stupid, I'm lying. I completely forgot this wouldn't work. This isn't going to work because the tank actually needs to be pumped into the heat exchanger somehow. So, how you would have to do this is that you would actually have to place the tank here instead. So you'll just have a fluid pipe there and your tank there like that, you know, yada yada. Same thing. We'll slap down the red and the red. Now what you're going to have to do is that you'll have to place a wooden fluid pipe again. If you have another pipe plug, slap a pipe plug so it doesn't hit that tank. So it's only going into the heat exchanger. And then slap a redstone engine onto the wooden fluid pipe and then put a lever onto the redstone engine. Now, as you can see, the opaque way is at the top. We don't want that. That means that the heat exchanger is going to pump into the tank because following through to whatever is translucent. So we're going to have to take a wrench, flip it around, so that way it always goes up into the heat exchanger. So this way, now, if we turned this on, and if we pumped in oil, the oil will get pumped out of the tank up into the heat exchanger, which is exactly what we want. Because what's going to happen is that oil is now going to be heated up by the hot oil we had, and we're going to actually take more pipe plugs here, slap one right there. This is very important, so take this step by step very slowly. Put a pipe plug there. Put a pipe plug coming out of the heat exchange. I mean, not a pipe plug, a fluid pipe out of the heat exchanger at the top. We're going to build it down, around, put another pipe plug on the golden pipe here going into the heat exchanger. The golden pipe coming out of the heat exchanger, we're going to come around in the front and directly into the distillery. So now the cold oil is coming through, getting heated up by the hot mixed fuels. The hot oil then comes out of the heat exchanger, now heated up into the distillery, which then continues the process like a loop. So fantastic. Now, geez, I'm flubbing up my words today. We're going to move on to distilling. Geez. We're going to move on to distilling the mixed light fuels into gaseous fuel and light fuel. Now, this is going to be the same thing with the plugs. Now here, I've actually seen great use. I'm actually going to show you this. I get an iron fluid pipe. Now, an iron fluid pipe is going to work the same way as a golden fluid pipe with the pipe plug. Basically, if you place it down, it only can go one direction, no matter what. Every other direction, it'll be opaque. Meaning that if I do this, it will only go into the distillery and it will never go into any other blocks. basically doing the same thing as a pipe plug into this tank. This does the exact same thing. You know, it's not going to, either way, it's not going to go into it. So you can have an iron fluid pipe that just is simple and easy. You don't have to worry about having pipe plugs, or you can just use golden pipes and slap pipe plugs everywhere. So it's just kind of up for preference, you know what I mean? I just use golden pipes because they're faster and it's easier in my brain just to be like the most efficient pipe, and I'll just use plugs everywhere. But anyways, yeah, so we got it going into the distiller again. Now we're going to need another wooden fluid pipe, which we'll cap off once again with pipe plugs. We'll slap a wooden fluid pipe on top of the distiller like the before. It's going to be the exact same time every time we make another distillery, by the way. So I shouldn't need to explain it each time, but I'm just being very thorough. We're going to have 2 wooden redstone engines and a Stirling engine going into the distiller. Slap a lever on the back of all of your engines. Ensure your Stirling engine has coal or some sort of flammable material like wood. Coal coke, if you're in modded, is very good actually. So now great. This simple, easy. This is basically done. Slap on some golden pipes, or you don't even need to. You could just put the tanks right up close. We could just, do this. No biggie. So we gotta make sure the orientation is correct on these wooden pipes, which it is actually good. Good they are. Nice. Good. So now the mixed light fuel is going to come through, go into the distiller, and turn into gaseous fuel and light fuel, which are good to use on their own. You can pump those right into a combustion engine, which is the whole purpose we're kind of doing this, if I didn't explain that already. A combustion engine will take any of the fuels we're making today and create no residue. So you don't have to pump anything out of your engines. You can just pump in water and fuel, and the engine will run for days, which is actually a really great power source. I really enjoy BuildCraft after achingly finding out all this information and doing this for you guys. Now, I haven't actually done this in my Survivor world, but I made it in creative not too long ago. This is the more complicated issue. Most people will take this dense oil and just put it into a tank because, well, you don't get a lot of it, 250 megabuckets. I think you get maybe 4 or 5 times that gaseous fuel and stuff like that. So you don't get much at all. But it makes an insanely useful. Sorry, one second. It makes an insanely good. Where is it? Hot. Where is it? There it is. So we need to heat up this dense oil that we're making into searing dense oil, which then, when pumped into a distiller, creates dense fuel and searing residue. So this is the final amount of residue. So from one little bit of oil, we will get a little bit of residue, and you'll have to get rid of that somehow. You can use it in some way, or you can just throw it into a fluid trash, or I'm going to show you to just throw it into a tank for now. You can deal with whatever you're going to do with this residue, but this dense fuel you can use for anything. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to be turning the dense fuel in the searing dense fuel into hot, so we're going to have to cool it down once, and then we're going to have to cool it down again until it's cooled, and then you can use it for energy. And as you can see, it makes 360,000 megajoules or MJs total, but 4 MJs per tick for 4,500, which is pretty good, comparative to the other fuels. I think it's pretty high up there, actually, if I remember correctly. Here, we'll look at that real quick, just in case. Okay, yeah, see here, gaseous fuel on the other hand makes a total of 1500 MJs, but it's 8 MJ per tick. So it's actually better than dense fuel, but it burns for way shorter amount of time. So it's kind of just your instant burst of energy. Dense fuel sounds like you could last your base off it much more. But you don't make that much of it. So it's still worth to make if you got enough engines. You could just make a bunch of engines all over the place. This is the rest of this video is going to be kind of overkill, basically. Just for the kicks of it, let's see what light fuel has, though. Okay, so light fuel is a medium ground. It's right down dead center middle. It's 90,000 MJ at 6 MJ per tick, so it's kind of a little bit better as well. It's a good middle ground. All of these are kind of interchangeable in a combustion engine. I think that I used 3 combustion engines on a quarry, and I pumped gaseous fuel into them, which now that I think about it, I guess is the most highest power per tick, and it runs quite fast. Thanks, Rain. It runs quite fast actually, so it's very good. I think that I would probably run my base more off of a dense fuel situation. You know, just have a bunch of engines. It'll be fine. Anyway, sorry, I got a little rambling there. We're going to pump this dense fuel. I gotta kind of remember how to do this too, man. I just did it, but still. First of all, you're gonna need first we're gonna need some lava. We're gonna need to make a little bit of a lava pit here, or like I said before, with the heat exchanger with the oil and everything, is that you can just have a tank with lava in it. But I'm going to show you the other route that I mentioned before, which is just putting a pump. So don't fall in it. That would hurt, obviously. Good thing I'm in creative. Suckers. If I was doing this legitimately, oh dang, that would have been funny. So slap your pump in the middle, just like so. Now, hopefully you'd have a lot more lava than this. This isn't enough lava per se. I mean, then again, you're not going to be making that much dense fuel, maybe. So you could probably run over here and re-put lava, but that's just such a pain. You probably want to dig a hole down, find lava first, then put this here, you know what I mean? And then you can pump it out of this pump. Either have the pump on the surface and go all the way down, or have it down by the lava and pipes all the way up, but that seems more expensive. I would probably just, yeah, you get it. Okay, so slap a redstone engine. Slap a lever. We're not going to turn it on just yet, though. All right, cool. Now that we have that done, we're going to lift off the heat exchanger from the ground because it needs to be able to be pumped from the bottom and the top always. We're going to pump the oil down below, and then from the side, we're going to pump in our lava. And then from the top, the out here is going to be steam slash smog, whatever you want to call it. The top, we're going to be pumping into our distillery. So over here, I'll have the distillery. Since we don't have any liquid in right now, I can go right over and then grab a pipe plug and separate these bad boys, just like so. Ensure everything is separated. Anything that is touching will lead into another and screw up this entire process. It has to be perfectly going the correct direction the entire time. It's very fluid and beautiful when it's done, though. Okay, cool. So we're going to slap that down. We're going to then want that actually, if we want this more efficiently, go like that. Put another plug so it goes down. Put this on the side. Perfect. Or we can have it in the front, actually. Let's do that. This is going to look awful. I'm sorry. Here, we'll use real blocks. We'll just... because you need it the correct direction like that. And I always like it in the front for some reason, even though it doesn't really matter. We have to separate the lava here, because we do not want the lava into our distillery. And then, bada boom, we're going to do the fun part, the extracting the stuff. Separate these again. Put another wooden fluid pipe on top of distillery. Separate it from the golden pipe again. Now you can, if you don't care about or you're using non-golden ones like stone, you can stretch this out more. If I moved this one block to the left, I wouldn't have to use any of these plugs, you know what I mean? So anyways, goes into some golden pipes. I'm going to then send this one actually is going to be the residue. So this is where you would put your void tank or whatever you want to do with the residue and tank form, liquid form, put here. Now, what we're going to do is we now have searing hot dense fuel. We're going to need to cool that down not once, but twice, which sounds like a pain in my butt, which it is. So we have to kind of come across here. I'm going to need to put down the pump first, probably. I'm sorry, that looks terrible if you're in survival and you're probably jealous, but it's fine. So we put the bump in the middle. Pump, I said bump. And we're going to slap another redstone engine, another lever, turn it on. I'm actually going to turn, no, I'm not going to turn all of them on. I'm going to just turn this one on because it's harmless. So we have the redstone lever on this pump, which is going to go into heat exchangers. So we have to have two sets of heat exchangers. I know one will go directly on top of this, and I know it has to be opposite, correct? Yes, it goes like that. Okay, cool. So then we can actually have it perfectly go like this. Perfect. So your fuel directly into it like so. This is connected improperly. Yep, make sure that's connected properly like I just showed. Go back a couple 10 seconds to see what I just did if you didn't see that. Because it is important that it is like this, yes, so it can actually pump in there. Perfect. So steam is going to come out the top. That is fine and dandy. We come around and we're actually going to put another heat exchanger. This one needs to be flipped the other way around, remember, because we are going from hot to cold, left to right. Hot goes in left, right is the cold, bottom right. So I'm actually going to make the same pump go into both of them because I'm super efficient with this. And then finally we're going to come out, place a pump pipe plug here, just like so, to separate these bad boys because we don't want them touching. Once again, can't stress that enough. We don't want any of this stuff touching. I didn't need to bring it down. I could have brought it over here. I'll show you that. It doesn't matter really how you set this stuff up as long as it works. And bam, this is where we will have the dense fuel. Now you might be like, wow, this is gee whiz. We don't even know if this works. Oh yeah? You want to see if it works? All right, cool. Let's see if it works. I know it'll work because I've done this so many times, but that's fine. We just got to make sure everything is on first. Make sure all your levers are flipped. All levers are flipped. Wow, we've actually only used 2 pumps for this as well. I've cut down, the old process I used to have with the safety precautions needed another one, and I got rid of that. So cool. Now we already have, yes, we already still have some of it in there. Okay, I mean, let's hope this this works. If it doesn't, then you might need to put some more hot. Wait, this isn't right. Okay, into the diamond fluid pipe we explained earlier. This isn't proper. This should be, that's perfect. Yep, look at it go. Yes, it's heating up the oil. The oil then comes through here, gets pumped into the distillery, which pumps out the mixed light fuel. Mixed light fuel goes into distillery, which turns into gaseous fuel and light fuel. Both cooled down already, good to use for right into your combustion engine. On the other side, we got our dense fuel, which is being heated up by our lava from the redstone engine. Lava going through here. Boo! We got all that smog. Dense fuel is coming through up the top. It's going through, and there's not that much dense fuel, so this is actually going to take quite a while. As you can see, there's a little bit of it in here. Just a teensy bit. Oh my gosh, I'm stupid. We didn't even put down engines. Look at that, guys. You probably were like, Josh, I have engines. What do you mean we're done? And I'm so sorry for you. I didn't mean to disappoint you guys. It's a good thing I set up this looking exactly like this so I could still power everything. Alright, so yeah, don't forget to put down these last 3 engines. I am gratefully sorry for that. I need coal, cool beans, and my inventory is full of crap. Okay, bam. And piece of resistance. Now this distillery is made, bam, we've made some residue, searing hot residue, searing hot residue. On the other hand, we got the fuel coming through the water the first time, making steam. Dense fuel coming around the second time, making some more steam. And we got some cool dense fuel. Yeah, I know, right? Now, isn't this amazing? Now, you might think, wow, this is insanely complicated. Now, I am hoping to God that you are doing this in a mod pack that isn't just BuildCraft, because I don't know how you play just with BuildCraft. But if you're playing in another mod pack, I'm going to go talk to Josh over in my server that I've been playing for a long time in the mod pack Infinity. What is it? Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Reloaded. I think it's a fan-made version of Infinity Evolved. But anyways, yep. How's it going over there, Josh? Aw, thanks, Josh. I got it from here. So anyways, this is where I used to have I had a massive thing of oil here. As you can see, if you go down, this is what I'm talking about by the plus sign. Opens up to these massive caverns, and then it does go down to bedrock. So as long as you get that pump on that geyser, this is what it'll look like after you've pumped out all that oil. Now you might be like, Josh, how did you pump out all that oil, you madman? Well, in other mods, this is going to be your most efficient way. I have all my oil got pumped into a black hole tank from Industrial Foregoing, which can hold, what is this, 2,147,483. Yeah, it holds almost an infinite amount of liquid. So all of my oil got pumped into there. So instead, it just that is my tank, and then it goes into all the blah, blah, blah. So at the end, instead of having tanks, I had them all go into black hole tanks, which obviously are now empty because I've put the black hole tanks into ender tanks. This is kind of just a buffer, the black hole tanks, just because I want this going forever and always making energy no matter what. Which I will show you what the ender tanks lead to after this. So the ender tanks are used, if you don't know what ender tanks are, they're basically the same as ender chests in vanilla Minecraft. Okay, 1 second. We're just going to turn off volume. They're the same as an ender chest in vanilla Minecraft, where you know how in vanilla Minecraft there is a chest and is specific to your player, though. In this mod, Ender Storage, instead of it being specific to your player, it is specific to the color code on the top. So this is blue, blue, blue. That one's white, white, white. The one over here is blue, white, blue. So whatever that color code is whatever is going to be inside that tank. Now, you also might have noticed that instead of it being powered on Stirling engines, I actually have this one being powered by RF energy. What I have is a dimensional transceiver from Ender.io, or you could just have whatever RF generating thing you have go into a FE energy consumer from Energy Converters, an energy bridge, into an MJ energy producer. The MJ Energy producer produces up to, I think, 64 MJ per tick, which is an insane amount. You won't need anywhere near that amount, which is why the cables aren't like full blast. But you can just connect kinesis pipes straight to the distilleries, just like that. And it's that simple. And it runs super efficiently. Like, I just have redstone engines and kinesis pipes, so it's just infinitely making stuff. I don't ever have to check on this. I don't ever have to add coal or anything. It's just instant. Now, where does all of these ender tanks go? Oh, you also, I have another pump of oil. Now that I got oil out of here, I figured I might as well find oil. So I found oil, and I'll show you that. That is good. White, white, red. Oh, wait, sorry. Red, white, white ender tank. Yeah, that is important too. You have to make sure orientation is correct when you're looking at that. I had a cute little roller coaster to it, but I never finished it because rails are expensive in Railcraft. Holy crap. This is my little base. So here, it's complicated. This is probably what everyone's looks like, because if you don't focus on how it looks, this is how modern Minecraft looks in the end. All of the ender tanks are here. The blue, 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 white, 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 and blue, white, white. These three up top are the liquids I get from the refinery. Now, you might have noticed, yeah, I didn't make my dense oil into dense fuel. That's because I haven't done it before, and I just showed you guys how to do it for the first time, because that's how I learned. I just was like, I could probably figure this out, and I did. Look at that. I'll probably do that after this in this world. So it all goes into here. I then have that the gaseous fuel. Oh fuck! I'm getting way ahead of me. Sorry. So the ender storage tanks are plugged into my AE2 network. So my applied energistics network, you can have import buses and export buses and stuff. The applied energistics network is another mod that basically just is a massive computer storage. You make little drives that hold 63 out of 63 types. So this is one type, two type, but it says bytes used. That means like 33 bytes. You know what I mean? So this is one type, but 33 bytes. While this is one type, but you can't stack on top of it. So it's always going to be one one type, and never use all the bytes. It's kind of, that's how AE2 works, if you didn't know. But anyways, it's plugged into the fluids. So the computer actually stores all of my fluids. As you can see, I have 2,333 buckets of gaseous fuel and 1,556 buckets of light fuel. So I have that gaseous fuel being exported into another ender tank that is blue, white, white. Now, what blue, white, white is the quarry I was talking about. I have my entire quarry off of gaseous fuel. Here is that. The gaseous fuel from that ender tank is put into a servo, a fluid duct from thermodynamics. You could also use the BuildCraft pipes here if you want, but instead of using redstone engines, thermodynamics can also connect to BuildCraft stuff I found. And I think the engines are actually interchangeable. That is also something that might, if that does happen, comment down below. I don't know if thermodynamics you can power quarries with, because originally I was making this fuel because I thought I needed it to power combustion engines, because I thought that was the only thing that powers a BuildCraft quarry now. But thermodynamics does connect to them, so if it does work, let me know. That'd be really cool and save you probably a lot of time. I'm not going to lie. You should probably try that first. It's way cheaper than what I did. Anyways, you have the gaseous fuel being pumped directly into the combustion engine, and water from what I have is aqueous accumulators surrounded by water, which then are put into more fluid ducts, which are plugged into the bottoms of said engines. Now, as you can see, it makes zero residue, although the quarry is finished. This is what a quarry can do. It literally mines out an entire massive 64 by 64 square if you can use landmarks on the corners. That is another BuildCraft thing. This is the main reason I use BuildCraft, or have ever even wanted to use BuildCraft, is this quarry. This quarry is huge to get a lot of resources. A lot of mods nowadays also just you need a lot of cobblestone, like the Portal of the Deep Dark. This is a perfect way to get a lot of cobble. Or you need a lot of just anything for a singularity in AE2. This is a lot to get of just a lot of crap. It also mines up diamonds and everything, but it's not going to be with fortune and whatnot. Now, my other thing is, where is my oil? Well, my oil actually is in the Twilight Forest, which is another mod, which is beautiful little adventure mod. I'm going through so many mods, you're probably like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Don't worry, this is mod of Minecraft. Straggling! So, we're in the Twilight Forest. I have a jetpack, by the way, which is why I'm able to fly around. If you don't have a jetpack by now, you should definitely have one, because holy crap. So I went around the Twilight Forest, and I found there's a lot of oil in the Twilight Forest. Holy crap, everywhere is oil. I had a massive amount of oil right here, though. As you can see, I still have a good bit of it. And the oil is plugged into the red, white, white. Remember this bad boy? I have a pump here, and it is pumping away. Bum, 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 bum. Put in the oil in here. I have an anchor, so it always stays loaded. And yeah, it's just, this is how I have it teleport the oil from the Twilight Forest to the quarry. I mean, not the quarry, to the refinery back home, which then is teleported to my computer, which is teleported to my quarry. It's so everything I can kind of like, so when I run out of oil, I can just literally mine all this and then go find another oil thing and then just set this up. It's super quick and easy. I don't have to chug the entire refinery everywhere I go. And this is why you play modded Minecraft, because it's so interesting to mix mods together like this. I've got 4 different mods right here: Railcraft, World Spike, Ender Tanks, Thermodynamics, and BuildCraft. Yeah, it's insane. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, I worked really hard on it, not gonna lie. I just didn't see anyone made a video about making dense fuel and everything out of one go. So yeah, hit a like, comment, and I'll see you. Check out my other content. It's not really like this at all, I'm not gonna lie. It's very different, but hey, if you like me, you'll maybe like my content. Bye-bye!